Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to Project Corgi. Are we all ready? Yes? Okay. So, I'm Camille. Just quick intro. Oops, what's going on? Quick intro. I'm Camille. I'm a product manager, currently freelancing for startups. And this is Amy.
Hello. Yes, we already met in the pitch stage, but I'm Amy. I work at a mobile games company called Mobilityware. I'm a data analyst, but I used to be a UX researcher. Are you guys all good? Like, need help?
She's trying to get into the Slack.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You're not in the Slack yet?
Yeah, no. I just don't use Slack.
Oh, for sure. Here, let me check.
Okay.
Yeah, I might need help. I don't want to stop.
No, it's good, it's good. Do you have a Slack account?
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I just don't know.
You just
Where
need to
to put-
join your workspace, okay?
Yes.
So, you want me to actually, what happened?
Oh, it's the bit, right? So just yes. So let's see. And then found Slack. Let's go through that one.
Amy, she can help out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop.
No, that should be fine. Okay.
Yeah.
And you already linked it to your
Um, let's do a
Oh,
quick
yeah.
intro. Is anyone else having difficulty with Slack? Okay. Just read the bit. Like,
Yeah.
Slack is essential.
on project.
I think it's fine.
Just click
Oh yeah.
go to the channel. Yeah. You can actually go to the channel and it will be there. Oh, it wasn't there.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think it's recording. Okay.
I don't. Is it?
I don't know. No, it's supposed to be screen recording.
Ah, I see.
I think it's.
Oh yes, I think it is. You're right. You're fine. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so everyone has access to the Slack now.
Okay.
You're in. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's fine. It's just for like link sharing. So if you really can't get it, we'll just like email you or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome to Project Corgi. Today we will be making a journey map. Very exciting. Out of curiosity, have any of you guys done a journey map before? Oh, okay. Can I ask in what context?
I did for food startup website.
Ooh, very cool, very cool. Okay, you'll have to tell us more about that.
Mine is for a product that helps family caregivers find financial resources.
Wow,
Wow.
very important use case there. Like, you don't want to mess up that flow. That's a very good opportunity to do journey map. Yeah, so we'll be doing one for Open Sprint's website. But first, you guys already heard a little bit about me. So, I won't do a spiel. I'll give you maybe some additional fun facts. I'm originally from Southern California. I'm in the LA area. I came to New York City for work. And I love to go eat out in Astoria. I love to watch movies and TV shows. Currently, I'm watching Partner Track on Netflix. It's very bad, but it's so bad that it's good. Yes, and like read books, hang out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've already introduced myself, so let's go to the social part. I'm trying to get back into running, so I'm actually gonna try to go run 6 miles tomorrow. Good luck. And I'm also an avid TV watcher, but I'm watching Hulu, and I'm watching Not Yet Dead. Pretty cool. I'm only on the third episode though. So aside from us, we actually have our two wonderful volunteers here.
Yes, please introduce yourself.
Quick intro, please.
Sure. Hi guys. I'm Davina. I'm a digital designer. I'm also into UX design. I work at Lakewood Cosmetics, so I design labels and logos for different customers and clients. And yeah, take it away, Joanna.
Hi everyone, my name is Johanna. I'm in product operations at a company called Oak Street Health. They just got acquired by CVS Health, which was really fun. I started out as a nurse and then I moved into product, which is super interesting. I'm learning a lot.
Very fun, very fun.
Very fun.
Yeah, so we would love to get to know you guys as well. So maybe we can like do some quick intros, like maybe starting in the front and then working our way backwards. So
Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm Chris. I have a wild history. I started off as a graphic designer. That was my degree, and then I moved to user experience, and then I just recently graduated from here for data science. So I have a lot of categories to be in.
yeah,
Oh, do I have a fun fact about me? Oh, I also train martial arts. So there we go.
cool, very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. Great to meet you, Chris.
My name is Timmy, and I'm a product lead at the caregiving startup that
So
I
cool.
mentioned called Ruby Well. And I was actually in fashion. I was in fashion previously for 12 years, and then went
Wow.
back to school for UX during COVID.
Amazing, amazing.
Super cool.
Hi, I'm Kelsey is my real name. I just graduated from Flatiron in July. I was also a fashion designer, and I sort of followed a train of doing art direction and different things that led me into product design. And the fun fact is right now my part-time job, even though I have some clients, is that I'm a muralist and fine finisher. So most of the time I'm painting if I'm not in front of a computer, which is a really good, way to like think about color and environment and experience.
Amazing. Congratulations on graduating. That's a very good achievement there.
Hi everyone, I'm Hiril. I'm a UX designer and have been practicing for now almost 2.5 years. Before that, I have worked as an architect for almost 5 years. So, and I've been in the design field for now 10 years. This has been my journey as a designer, and yeah, I'm here to learn from all you amazing designers and about your journeys.
Amazing. A lot of creative people in this room, which I love and very much appreciate. And hopefully we can get those creative thinking happening later today. So here is our agenda. We'll just be briefly, the core of it will be the journey mapping, but just to make sure we're all on the same page. So we talked a little bit about this. So what is UX? UX as a discipline really is an interdisciplinary kind of field. There's UX designers, there's UX researchers, there's UX engineers, like front-end engineers, even back-end engineers who are very front-end minded. There's product managers who are owning the user experience from a business angle. There's product owners. It really depends on the org that you're in, as I'm sure you guys are already situated in some orgs, or maybe you have experience. And yeah, I really want to stress that the thing that kind of unites all of these different roles, everybody in the UX practitioners field has a lot of empathy, right? Like we really want to know who are our users, what do they need, and we care about trying to understand people who may be very different from us and designing for that specific population. So it is not about what I personally need, right? But who is my product's audience? And how can I create an experience that is very empathetic and really understanding their perspective. So one tool to do that a lot of UX practitioners use and have in their back pocket, as you guys already have experience in, is a journey map, right? And so, a journey map, again, can be defined many different ways, but in this session, we'll be calling it a tool that visually breaks down each step of the end-to-end journey. And what this really helps you do is systematically reflect, like what is the customer thinking, trying to do, and feeling at each step in the user journey. And throughout that process, you surface and unearth pain points, right? Like where are the problems gonna possibly arise? Where are the points of confusion? Where are the potential errors that are gonna happen in the flow? And how can we help users go back to the journey that we are imagining for them? So again, really just putting yourself in the shoes of the end user. And so Project Corgi, which is the application of the journey map in this case, is kind of like a meta project. So you guys have heard of open sprints, right? Krisia talked about it in the beginning session. Open sprints is really like a workspace where anyone in their early stage of their development career can like join an open source project to learn product development by just joining like a short-term project. and they can just contribute and learn by doing something on like the backlog of each project, and just getting experience in a product development environment through volunteer work. So Project Corgi is one of the projects that you can participate in. Again, it's like a 4-week sprint. We talked about this in the pitch stage, so I won't go over it again. But essentially, yes, we'll be meeting once a week for the next 3 weeks to kind of build something for your portfolio, and also have something to talk about in interviews, and also just use as like leverage to get experience and get a job, ideally in the UX field. So this is a recap of Project Corgi. We'll be introducing kind of who the client is. It'll be Krisia is for this project, who our users are, what our product is, and again, the outcome of Project Corgi. But at this point, I wanted to open it up. Does anybody have any questions at this point, like kind of confused about what Project Corgi is? Any concerns or thoughts at this point? All right, perfect. Then let's just get into it. So let's talk about the product, okay. So first, why don't you guys go into opensprints.tech. So I think you do have to put the www. So this is the product that we'll be working on today. And it would be great if you guys could just take some time, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, and just kind of click around, get like a tangible understanding of what the product is right now, and then we're going to work on kind of like journey mapping what a good journey would be for this product. So was everybody able to get into the website? You can see it. Okay. Any like questions at this point? Okay, so just click around, read, and we'll reconvene in like 5 minutes.
So I have a question.
Yes.
In the previous slide, you have mentioned the end users as web developers.
Yes.
So why are we targeting web developers just here as our end users? Just need a little clarity.
Right, so the projects are designed for, unfortunately, we cannot, we're assuming that the user has some prior knowledge. So like they're gonna like know how to use GitHub. They're gonna, basically, we're not at the point, the product is not at the point where they can cater to just anybody who can join. But as the first tangible next step is we're going to cater this website to early stage web developers who are trying to get more experience.
So maybe someone like us or anyone join, maybe a new person in the field and trying to gain opportunity to work.
Yes, exactly. Like a Flatiron school grad who is like has some experience, but is very early stage in their career.
I was gonna say, could we show the user profile now?
Yeah, so
we'll get there. So why don't you just look at the website, just explore it. We just want you to get the feel of what the website looks like, so you can form your own opinions, see if you have any pain points as you visit it. And then I don't think we need the full 10 minutes. I think we just want you to like get familiar with the site for a bit.
Yes, yes. Amazing.
Just 1 minute or something.
Yes, maybe we should play some music or something. A lo-fi.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh, the lo-fi girl. Oh, but we'll definitely have to watch an ad. Okay, let me turn off the... Oh, you don't have to. All right. Do you feel like that gave you guys enough time? Anybody need a little bit more? Okay. It's a fairly straightforward website, I would hope
Yeah.
so.
Okay, so next we're going into our client. So there are two people. Um, for this session, there are two people that we want to understand. The first one is our client. So you have to understand like what they're looking for, what they're looking for, what their goals are, and also who the end user is, because the end user is not always the same as a client. So in our case, our client is actually Krija, the founder of Femcubator, and her product is the Open Sprints website. So she just wants to have like a virtual workspace where like anyone or like early stage developers can just come in and like contribute to a project through GitHub and then like walk out and just be like, oh, I contributed that. And right now she's trying to look for a way where these contributors can do it on their own, like self-service. She doesn't have enough manpower to like do operations for the website. So she needs a way so that like any developer can just come in, like self-service, like find their own project, onboard themselves, figure out what they need to contribute, and then like contribute and then get out. So that's exactly what she's looking for. And as I mentioned, she does not have like bandwidth. She has an operations team of one, who is kind of like the project manager. This project manager has a backlog of like content. So the project manager is the one who says like, okay, for this project, these are the requirements, this is what we need. And that's basically all she can contribute, but she can't contribute like people to actively like onboard them, like, and all that stuff, all that servicing. So she's looking for a self-service system for GitHub creators to easily join and contribute to any Open Sprints project. Does anyone have questions, comments about our client so far? Okay, is that pretty clear? Okay. On the other hand, our end users are actually junior web developers. So these are the contributors that Krija is looking for. They're usually around this age range, and most of them will be like recent graduates from a coding bootcamp such as Flatiron, who are looking to gain more real-world experience, and a lot of them work remotely. So they're going to be either used to or open to like a self-service onboarding kind of environment. These people love, our end users love to like tinker around with technology, so we can expect them to like look around the website, look at like what needs to be fixed, and they all usually they want to learn more, which makes sense because they did boot camp. So they like to stay updated with new technology, like they look around Stack Overflow and things like that. For our user profile, this is Jane, by the way. She likes to have order and structure, so things need to be like in a set process for her, or she will create a set process for herself. And yeah, she just wants to make sure that like she can make an impact. So she's on the Open Sprints website because we're there for like social good projects. She uses a bunch of like very technical tools as a web developer. She knows different languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are usually the tools for like front-end developers. And she's primarily on GitHub. So GitHub is a code repository tool that web developers use to get code into websites and to like do version history. She's also familiar with Figma. And yeah, so these are the various tools she uses. Task management, Trello. You may have used some sort of like other version like Jira, Asana. They're all pretty much the same. And yeah, does anyone have any questions about who our user will be?
Yeah, so I just want to stress that there's kind of like two people that you were thinking about in this scope of this problem is like, so there's the client, right? Like UX requests do not come in like a vacuum, right? There's like the stakeholder, the business person, the whoever, and is putting in the request for the UX team, and then there's the actual users, right? And so as UX people, I think the discipline stresses a lot, making sure you keep your users' POV in mind as well. But I think something that I wish I had learned more in school before I started working was also keeping in mind what are the client's needs, what are the stakeholders' needs, right? If you deliver something that is flawless for the user, but not exactly what the stakeholder had in mind, there is going to be problems, right, in your career and just in the project. So just trying to keep like a balance of those two requirements is very important in the UX discipline.
Yeah, pretty much the same experience. Like, it doesn't even need to be an external client, it could just be your boss. So things like that. So we're going to keep this up again later, but I'm going to move on. Oh, okay. So our next slide. I know we just took a look at it. Maybe we just want you to spend like maybe another minute like looking at it, like now thinking as if you're Jane. Just thinking it's like, okay, like what are the pain points you encounter when you try to onboard into a project? Like, can you even onboard into a project? What do you click on and things like that? So I'm not gonna, we don't need to do the whole 5 minutes, maybe just like 2 minutes should be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
The idea is like, so before you were looking at the website as yourself, but now try to look at it as if you were an early career web developer. How do you experience the flow now based on
So let's open this website and just take a look again. Yeah. I'll keep that up. Okay. Does anyone need more time to explore? No? Okay.
Yeah. So I think first let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you guys are thinking. So yeah, what are your guys' impressions of the website? Particularly the onboarding experience of the website, and just like what is your first impression? Imagine yourself as Jane, our user.
I was gonna say that it'd be interesting if I was searching this, like I'm wondering, do I have the skills to help this project? It's like not totally intuitive to me, what coding or like what languages, maybe there's like a way to a good explanation, some sort of keywords, summaries would help.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, building off of that, as someone who's been staring at GitHub for like 3 months now, I would say, yeah, it's a lot easier when you can filter by like what skill you want if you want to do a project. So yeah, just like if instead of filters by role, it'd be by like I really want to focus on like just JavaScript, or I just want to, as a web developer, just focus on the CSS. So I just filter by, yeah, as you're saying, like the skill or language, then by role as it is currently at.
Got it. And I think also related to those is like making sure that it is, how do you know like, it's gonna push you to like really learn rather than like doing something you may already feel confident in, like pushing you to that next step to like upskill. I don't know what the solution with that would be right now, but I think that's something that I would look for.
Right. So like there's things that you are already familiar with, but you're not sure like if I want to learn something, is this something that I can do, or do I have to already know it? Like that is something that's valid.
Also, on the filter, when we just spoke about filter, we can have an opportunity to write on our own. Here we have preset filters like collaborative research. I see the ones in the purple. They're already preset. So something that I want to find on my own. Of course, as Nesme spoke about the skill, a particular skill. So there has to be a search filter tab where I'm actually able to write what skill instead of the preset filter that's already been there. So
Got it. So you want it to be like customizable,
customizing,
not just like a preset.
by preset. Maybe you just give the opportunity to where I can literally type and find it out. So it can search through all the projects. So it can lead you to that project with that skill.
Yeah. No, I think these are all great. It's interesting that we all kind of like were thinking very much about the search. Oh, sorry, did you have something to say?
Oh yeah, we can finish that.
No. I was just thinking like that's very interesting.
I was just gonna add like a couple other things. It would be nice to be able to see like past work and like what people have gotten out of it in the past and how it's helped them get to that next level. Like so the value of participating in the open sprints. And then potentially just like seeing what other people have said about their interactions with open sprints as well in the past.
Right. Almost like a
Testimonial.
testimonial, or just like an example. Just put a human face to the project. I see what you're saying.
These are all really, really good. And I'm just keeping this here so that like when we work on the workshop, like we can use this for inspiration. Any other feedback?
I have something on the landing page. So when you open the landing page, there's a very powerful graphic that we see on the right side, right? And then we have a statement that it's a virtual collaborative space to work on projects. But I also feel that we are not speaking or featuring anything with that powerful graphic. So there has to be some value proposition statement or something that can actually show the statement very clearly apart from the project, the collaborative workspace that we are trying to create. So I think that can help to give a clarity of the audience.
Yeah, like the value for the person landing on, not just like what
it will give a very clear picture to the audience that they're trying to attract. So that can be very helpful. Because I think below, I think below get inside when you go to the get involved tab, you are talking about participants open to by women only, right? And then we have a very powerful graphic. So I think there has to be some relation and a position statement.
I literally said exactly what I wrote down. I'm like, yes, I'm sorry. Because we have to think about too, like, how are they getting to this open sprints page? Are they getting to open sprints from the FemCubator website? Then maybe that might be different. Like this virtual workspace, we could specify who our audience is here, BIPOC women, right? But if they're getting to this website from the FemCubator webpage, like it still needs to be set here,
Yes.
right?
have something like literally below, above this, and after it gets started, the testimonials with with faces of
Yeah,
people, so that will be very powerful on the landing page.
Yeah, I think especially like when you say like it says like collaborating, you want to see like who you're
Yeah,
collaborating with,
the
like
human
this
touch.
humanity to it.
Yeah.
Got it. These are all great ideas. I do want to clarify that anyone, regardless of their identity, can contribute to the project. However, to be a fellow, like so to get one-on-one mentorship and just like some other things, you have to be a BIPOC woman.
Okay.
But I agree that this delineation should probably be
Okay.
expressed.
So that means we are not, then I misunderstood otherwise, because here we are saying that participants for women only, so I misunderstood then. Then I
Right.
think we have to be clear what we are trying to say then.
No, for sure. I think this website is a little bit older, and again, to be like like a workathon is like
Yeah.
being part of the 4-week sprint. It's like a little bit different than
Then
this.
the fellowship that you were
Right,
talking
right,
about,
exactly.
then,
It's a
then
little-
that has to be very clear, because
Right.
that's something else. I understood it completely.
Right. I mean, I
And
think
maybe with that being said, it's like those can be like separate flows like on the
Yes,
site so that
because
people are clear about
Yeah.
which.
yes.
Because it's like completely two different audience, right? So that's a different.
Well, I guess okay. Let me do one more clarification. Our ideal audience is BIPOC women, right?
Okay.
But we're not gonna like gatekeep, right? Like
Yeah,
you are a
yeah.
man.
No,
You
no,
want to
no.
show
Identify your
sex,
sex or
yeah.
gender before you log into this
If
website.
a man ends up on this website and wants to do
We
something
don't
like,
want them to.
yeah, we're not gonna be like, it smells like man, like, right? Like you can do stuff, you know? But our target audience, like our
Yes.
ideal user is woman. Like we want it to be majority women.
Yeah.
So I guess that is.
So yeah, it has to be a very strategically put up, which
Yes.
is of course not giving, putting things in the wrong direction. It has to be very strategically put in.
Yes.
But if you- No, that's it. Like if we want to, then if we are putting that image, then it has to speak something. Like we
Right.
just can't put a graphic which speaks a lot. So there has to be something else.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so before Kelsey says something, since we have some new people, please introduce yourselves. We'd love to get to know you. I guess starting with the man. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, why not? What's up? Hi there.
To us. Introduce yourself to us. Like your name and like why you are interested in Project Corgi. That type of thing.
What's up? My name is Benjamin. I'm interested in learning how to mark the target user group to make the design decision because I'm a graphics designer.
Okay, sounds great. And do you have are you in tech right now or looking to break into tech?
I'm not gonna break into the tech. I'm gonna focus on UI UX area.
Amazing. People.
Hi, I'm James. Really interested in the idea of open sprints and design systems too. I work in the blockchain space, focus on React development.
Super cool.
Hi, I'm Carlton. I work in communications and work with a lot of tech companies, and so just like learning more about kind of what's going on behind the scenes and what people are creating. And
So welcome to our workshop. Just the gist of this workshop is today we're focusing on customer journeys. We're working on customer journeys. Our idea is we're going to do user research for our client, who is actually Krisha. Just met her, and we are trying to make onboarding for any open sprints project super seamless and self-service. So right now we've been going around the room like trying to get feedback from our participants on how their experience looks like. So if you could add yourself to our Slack group, so this is the link you can go to. If you have any issues, Navina and Johanna can help you. And then please join this channel. They can help get you set up. Keeps getting. Kelsey, do you want to say something?
So I'm pretty familiar with Upwork, less so with GitHub, but I think that because there's a social action component to this, it would be good to figure out how to bring that information into the header a bit more. Like, I know we're talking about this already, but it just feels sort of like we need some components of LinkedIn, we need some components of Upwork or these like free Fiverr style sites, but then like where does it feel sort of like more socially driven? And that would be the thing that I would focus on the journey map. It's like there's less of a focus on like what is the client looking for.
Mm-hmm.
There's more of a focus on like what can I give or bring or what do I have time for. So I just wanted to say that.
Super interesting. Is there a particular part of LinkedIn or Upwork that you would like to see in the Open Sprints experience? Just off the top of your head.
Well, I feel like on Upwork in the footer, there's like a whole thing that says for clients, for talent, resources, and company, and below that there's like 10 or 15 items. Like for the client, it says how to hire, talent marketplace, project catalog, hire an agency. For talent, it says how to find work, direct contracts, find freelance jobs worldwide. But I feel like any sort of like search like that would be helpful, but something specific to like what we're saying so that it feels clear what like who we're trying to target. But just like some sort of difference between like the freelance market and LinkedIn versus like social action type stuff.
Got it.
Yeah.
So just kind of, sorry. No, please go.
That's really interesting because like I think when you think about the client too, like as open sprints, you are like that business model is like giving developers the opportunity to work with these other companies. So you can do something where it's like if you're a company looking for help, sure, sign up, that's great for Incubator, that's great for Krisha. But like if you're like looking to participate in those developments, then that's like a different flow that you kind of have that you could think about both.
Got it.
And then it's like kind of then you can see like bring them together, like to collaborate. Like,
Got it. No, I think that is a really great vision to have. I do want to keep the scope a little bit smaller for just what we experience. We're thinking about onboarding for, yes, in this case, for people who are trying to have like social impact, early stage web developers. We're not going to expand yet to like corporations, but I like that you're already thinking about that, and it's definitely something that we should keep in mind in terms of would this be able to like scale to something like that. All right.
Okay. We actually have a really good starting point, so I'm just gonna keep moving us because we do have time to make. Okay, so our next step, so now that we've all talked about it, we're gonna run a quick journey map workshop. So Amy's gonna post the link to the Figma document. So please log on. You can look at their Slack channel and it will link you to Figma, and everyone should be able to access it. Yeah, I don't think you need to make an account. I think you just need to write your name.
Yeah, so just posted the link in the Project Corgi channel. Let us know if you're not able to.
So you should see this page.
Yeah, just to get a quick pulse read, how many of you guys have used Figma before? Okay. Oh, and then is there anybody who does not use Figma?
Okay.
I'll watch over his shoulder.
Oh, okay. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you need help, just feel free to flag us.
Yeah, and don't worry, like, I'm not a Figma expert either. So, like, we're all learning today. But is everyone able to go to Figma? Okay. So what we're going to do right now is we're just gonna learn the steps of Claire's journey. So right now we've already divided parts of her journey into five steps. So first step of her journey is she needs to understand like what the Open Sprints projects were. So get on the website, and then like after that she needs to join a project, choose something from the backlog that she can contribute to, submit her contribution, and then like in terms of getting feedback, like see it posted. So we can just do this together.
Yes.
What we're going to do the understand various open projects together, and then after this quick session, we're going to split into 4 groups and fill out the other steps of the journey. So, can you spotlight yourself?
Yes. Or I guess I think you're looking. Oh, are you gonna follow me?
I will follow you on the screen.
Okay.
So we.
Actually, yeah, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
You can follow me.
Okay.
All right, so
Um, just to check, like, since we got more people in the group, like, how familiar are we with customer journey maps? Have you seen this before? Yeah, okay. They're like buyer personas also if you're in marketing. So what we're going to do right now is fill out the actions, the tools, the pain points that they're feeling, and probably like what they're feeling. And then later, as a group, we'll get back into opportunities. So let's do this together. Um,
yes, so first step is understanding the various open sprints project on the website, right? And that's a pretty big overarching goal. So it might be helpful to first break it down into specific. Dev teams often call them user stories. In this case, we're just referring them to actions to avoid getting too much into terminology. But basically, at a very tangible level, what is something that the user is probably going to try to do at this step?
yeah.
Anybody have any ideas?
We can actually just let them fill out the post-its on Figma.
Yeah, so if you have an idea, feel free to write it down or just say it or whatever you're thinking.
Yeah. Maybe you should lock the table.
Yes. All right, so I'll put one down. So what actions does the user take during each step? I feel like we have been as a software user kind of been trained to like give our email. Like, so I think the first thing that maybe people are trying to figure out is how do I get in the system, right? Like, so how do I sign up or log in or, create an account in some way? So I'll put submit email and we can make this larger.
Still sticky, don't fall out.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll make this bigger. Does anybody else have like an action that people would be trying to do at this stage?
Create a profile.
Create a profile. I like it. Yes. And
how about the things that we did when we first logged on to Open Sprints? Like, what was the first thing you did? Like, how did you find? Like, how did you look through the website? Like, what did you click on? How did you find out about the projects?
I think like when I open Open Sprint, my aim is to first look at the projects. So I would just I have the project in the navigation. I would just go to the project and see first the projects.
Yeah, did you
That's like the first thing.
right.
Yeah.
So see like all the available projects essentially.
Yeah. And feel free to add to them. Like, you don't need to wait for us to add the post-its.
I see a lot of actions forming. This is great.
Take a sticky and people type it in. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take that one. Jeez, okay.
All right.
If you don't want to do it yourself, you can just tell us and.
Review roadmap timeline of project and project needs. Okay, yeah, just to see like where are we in the project? Are we at the beginning? Oh yeah, did you write this one?
At the beginning, yeah. I always think when I'm going through these journeys, I think of like what are the I try to think of like myself as a skeptical user.
Okay, a fearful user.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm always like because that's kind of the person that you really want to solve for.
Got
like,
it.
When I'm thinking about things. And so I'm like always like I would want to see like what does a project even look like? Do I have the bandwidth for any of this? Like so I guess like when you're searching for the projects, just a quick skim of like if this is something that's due next week and I like can't even then like there's no point in me even
Got it.
down the line.
I see.
I also put like scanning the website and just of open sprints is?
For sure. So mission, timeline, all very important things. Yeah, I think it's meant to be like kind of like an ongoing project. So do you think it would be intimidating to be involved in a project that's been around for a long time? Or are you thinking more like, would it be better for the project to be newer? Or I guess I'm trying to understand maybe like what would the user want in that
I
situation?
guess I'd want to know like what the needs are, and are these long-term needs? Are they short-term needs? Are there both? And like which of those works for me? If none of it works for me, then it's probably not the product for me.
I see what you're saying. So like can I just contribute maybe one thing from the backlog and
Right.
then that's it? Or is this something that I'm gonna have to okay,
Yeah.
I see. So clarity on that. See available projects, gain access to important project documents linked on the website. Yes, important. Okay, well, actually, that might be in a later step, but I like that we're thinking about that already. Who are my mentors? And amazing. Okay. Tools, what are the tools the user is using to accomplish these tasks or actions? Yeah, so we can think about this in a very basic sense. So I'm just going to switch colors here because we're kind of flowing out of that box. But yeah, so the tools, again, this is not rocket science. So people will probably be using a laptop, right? They're going to be, or a computer. But there's also like the mobile user, right? Which is something that, are we going to try to think about the mobile user in this case, or are we only thinking about PC users? Like that's something you want to address with your stakeholders for sure.
I think of course there will be a mobile user, but I feel if we are considering the scope of work in the 4V, then it's fine to put, but maybe that would be another scope of work.
Exactly. It's good to just clarify, right? Like what is happening. Thank you for whoever put this things in the box. That's very much appreciated.
Would you here to like add like other platforms, like for instance, like if you wanted to, if there were projects listed already, like for companies, would you want to like Google those companies and like look into them first and see if the mission works for you, or would you put that here too, like in the tool section, or where do you normally put that?
Absolutely. Anything part of the research is fair game, so I would add Google as probably a tool that we'll use.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you're just like thinking about how is other technology going to interact with the UX here. And again, you don't need to cater to every single technology interaction. Oh man, they're having a great time over there in Project Beagle. We should like laugh really loudly just to like give them competition. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, right now, right? Oh no, she shut in the door. I was like, fake laugh really loudly right now. Okay.
I can tell something funny from being over there. They like made a new button and they were so proud
No,
of themselves.
but
I'm like, wow, you made a
right.
button fake. Wow, okay.
I like that we're thinking about, like where are they coming from? That's a very good point.
Exactly. Or like, how are you finding open sprints? Like, how do you discover open sprints? Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's move on to pain points. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, a lot of things could go wrong, but what do we think are the most likely things to go wrong, or the most critical things to go wrong?
And for that, you can also get inspiration from our board of questions
Right.
and concerns. So we, like anyone who wants to stick a post at like fair game, if you think it applies here, go ahead and add it in.
Yes. But yeah, let's try to think about it mostly at the understanding the various projects step.
Are you working on tools in the beginning? Oh goodness. Sorry.
That's what I was saying. I was like,
So I'll put.
That's quite a lot.
I feel like we're too productive.
this was like what I kept posted.
We're so productive.
Right, so not having enough background about available projects. I think that's a good one. Right. So maybe like I'm thinking, but tell me if you're thinking about something else. Like, whether they have the right skills, like we were talking about before, but also like whether this project, like what is this project trying to do? Is it interesting to me? That kind of situation as well. Why do I need to scroll down on the homepage? Hot take. Why? What is?
I have the same question.
What's?
Very good question. I like it.
What? Wait. So I'm confused. What is the pain point here?
Sorry, that was I really hot take on there.
The fact that you have to scroll down.
Yeah, like why? Like
It's
I feel
not
like
clear.
Oh.
All of that information should be first. Yeah.
I see. Wow. Okay. The designers will be mad about that, but I think that's a fair point. Like.
I feel like
I could have worded it nicer.
at this point, I feel like anything is fair game. We are brainstorming. No one is wrong.
No, but in a
You
business.
can go reach project and join today from the top, right?
I see.
You can anyways go. So
There are actually two buttons.
yeah.
that
So
you
I
can
think
get
we
the
still have
projects.
that buttons at the top. So
Yeah.
I don't like. Yeah.
I see. So the call to action.
Yeah, like I feel that we already have that in any way. So you still don't need to scroll down to apply, right?
Got it. So you think it is a pain point, or you don't think it's a pain point?
What I was trying to understand is if we are needing to scroll down, but we are scrolling down to apply, right? Like apply for a project. But what I'm trying to say is we already have joined today, which is taking you to the same page, which is right at the top. So I think that's kind of served. Maybe it could be served in a better way. But I think it's already being.
I see. So you're like.
It's taking you to the same page.
Right. Halfway, you feel that.
Yeah, we are somewhere halfway.
Okay. You think it could be cleaned up, but you think there is a path right now. Too much required for initial sign up.
Oh. Okay.
Ooh. So we don't want the player profile, or we don't want to create a profile or
I
something.
know, just like I feel like it's annoying when you want to sign up for something and it's like asking you way too
Right,
many questions.
right.
You're like, can I just get in and see the information?
No, for
before
sure.
I give you spend the next 10 minutes filling out some form.
So
Really long
yes.
onboardings actually
Yeah.
Right.
detract me. I stop
Yeah,
midway,
same.
mid-form.
Are you talking about the volunteer?
Just in general,
Okay.
in general, like
If there is a lot of
Yeah.
information, yeah.
just thinking about like the beginning of the journey,
This is
that would
really
deter me.
Right. How are you qualified? Will you bail on the project? Oh, okay. That's something the client will be interested in for sure. Might be a concern. Navigating industry-specific lexicon. What is industry-specific on the page? Like sprints? The word sprints? Yeah. That's a valid point. I guess our users are early stage web developers though, so maybe they will know what a sprint is, or.
They weren't here for the user profile.
Oh.
For each project,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. Like doing a scan of potentially alienating words. Yeah. Okay, great. Moving on now to emotions. Yes, so I think as people in tech, we often view the user as a rational person, right? Like they are going to want to do this, and so of course, logically, they're going to do A, B, C, D, right? But in reality, humans are feeling creatures, and like you said, they might get overwhelmed, they might get frustrated, they might be like, why do I have to put in too much information and drop off, even though that their logical goal is to get connected to an open sprints community, and logically they might know you need this information to log in. So it's really important to be mindful of just things that may be illogically inconsistent for the user, but that they nonetheless will feel. Again, going back to the importance of empathy in the user journey. So, anxious in all capital letters. Kelsey, do you want to expand on that?
Just speaking from experience coming out of a boot camp, like maybe you're like, I want to help, I have all these skills, I have so much to, share, I have so many diverse experiences, but then you're like trying to just navigate a website.
Right.
Maybe you're like skimming it really quickly, so.
No, For sure, like, yeah, you went through this product boot camp, you want return on your investment, you're stressed about getting a job. Like, it's probably true that our end user is going to be more on the anxious side than an average, somebody who maybe is just, shopping or something like
They're
that.
not like retired looking to get
Right.
money. Like if they're giving time, they're trying to get something out of it. Too,
Exactly.
even if it's like for
Exactly. No, I think that's kind of an unusual, actually, an atypical quality of our user that we'll have to keep in mind, or atypical compared to other software experiences, but is going to be common in our user group. Excited. Okay, that's the flip side of the coin.
I feel that the person visiting would be anxious on whether they'll be able to find a good fit because they want to find a role, but also excited they might find. So I feel it's a lot of emotion that a person is going through at that point of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that makes sense.
soupy.
How are we feeling like when we look at the website? So before we look at the website, we could feel anxious, excited.
Yeah.
What are our feelings like when we land there? Like, and we're looking around, like, what are our emotions?
Feels like the website currently wants you to be calm.
Mm.
Did you feel calmer when you looked at the website?
Color-wise, it was like some bright colors, but overall, it was like
No, I
I
agree.
feel like there's like an
I
empowering
agree with this couple
feel
of
though.
Right.
Like that graphic and those like little bursts of colors, I think give a little bit of like,
No, I like that. I'm going to put that as well. Empowered. Right, because a lot of open source projects are very, how do I say it? HTML-y. Like, if you're trying to contribute even to Wikipedia, it's just like a wall of like text. I wouldn't say it's a super empowering experience. It kind of assumes that you're in the know of about a lot of things, which I think Open Sprints aims to be a little bit more accessible than that. Hopeful, love to see it. Grateful to see opportunities that may not require interviews. Yes, a way to get your hands dirty without too many gates in the process. Skeptical.
Could you expound on that one?
Yeah, that's me. So when I was on the landing page, I noticed that the dates weren't up to date. It's like said something about like roadmap 2023. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe this is something that I don't want to contribute to because maybe it's not being updated and it's not something that, is currently ongoing because,
Right.
yeah.
That's a good point.
Like that alone might make me be like, oh, well, I don't want to join a project because it might not, be up to date.
Right. All right, so the opportunity section, we're going to wait to fill out until we have a better understanding of the whole journey. But now we are going to, let's see how many, there's 4 of us.
Oh, we can do countdown 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
That's perfect, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you get 1, okay, I'll assign you numbers. Sorry. And then if you get 1, you'll get the first step, join an open sprints project. 2 will get choose tasks, 3 submit contribution, and 4 get feedback. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're 1, like pair together, like brainstorm. Who's 1? You and you. Okay. So the 2 of you can work together. Who's 2? Okay, he's behind you.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 3. Okay, perfect. There. And then 4, you're together. And then Amy and I will just go around. And
Yes,
yeah,
if
yeah,
anybody
yeah.
has any questions, but we'll come back together at the end to do the opportunities
Yeah.
part.
Sure. And it's a good way to meet other people and meet the contribute.
Yes, so we have the user persona on the side here. Keep them in mind.
No, I was like,
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna get some more water because I'm so cold right now.
should we show the persona or the thing?
Oh, it's right here, so I think it's fine. But yeah, we could put the persona back up.
Just put the persona back up so they can easily look at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe we should put the problem statement.
No, I think they need to understand the persona.
Oh, okay.
Like the next. Oh yeah,
Oh, okay. You could just sign it. Too. I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay.
You want to join?
Can we get a?
Yes.
we just do
Can we get like a regular baseline again? I just got back on it. We're doing exactly.
Okay, so what you want to do?
Yeah.
So you already did this we did on your sheet, but now you're gonna do
Okay.
join.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is the next
I'm
step.
gonna have to join you because
So
you're
first,
first.
you guys will systematically go through how to about actual big contributions.
Okay.
I apologize. What key points you're and how you're going to be feeling and why.
You're figuring out the
And
thing.
we'll come to actions.
Usually,
You have
like,
opportunities.
Okay.
there's gonna be a there should be a list of things, of
Okay, cool.
requirements needed, and then your contribution to
You're bringing all that, or you're bringing? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so joining in open source project, so website, where they okay. So where you're here, what are the steps we want to do? I guess if there's anything interesting, they can start it, because it's already experienced. Yeah. I think it'd be more dollars to get started, what could be over there?
submitted,
Like,
you're submitting it on GitHub, but then that's not giving your site. So what are you thinking?
So first of all, if it says actions, submit contribution, you're saying submit code.
Yeah, writing the code would also be an action.
Like should it be like in there?
Yeah, and I know we're not developers, so we have to.
That's why I said so but you can use like the tools, use like dash, like or
Okay, what language should we use?
Like get started means to go to different places, so that's interesting.
We're using
Yeah, you know, do majority today, it's like yeah.
Is the user experience and each step.
Yeah, I guess it depends on like what you're in,
And like how can we.
but then I guess we wouldn't even know how to use it, right? So like,
we should increase.
But I guess based on this step before, there are maybe some minutes of time that we're doing the website or like
yeah, so like maybe we could just like divide it into areas, like, okay, they did get started, so we'd be like, oh, okay, the project here.
learn about the project and maybe like filter it down.
For example, why are people not saying like the form is too long, like no one wants to onboard, so this project team figures out like, okay, I need a shelter on work experience, I need this, I need this through the, I need to make it easier. Or like, you know, maybe how instead of sign up, traditional sign up pages, you can just sign in with Ultra or sign in with Facebook. So that's the application of the real life application. You understand your pain points in the process and put out organizations like product improvements with take things up a little bit further. User experience, you can have a like user down into the pain points.
Okay, so I guess like let's say there's still like
Make what are the pain points that
Yeah, and then
you're trying to say?
Oh yeah, something that you're considering like
Is
are
like
the level of difficulty. Yeah, I think it's that.
promotions.
That's probably where this could be, what tool the project
Okay,
is
so
using.
I don't know. I guess if they break one, then what? Where do we go from here? Or like, I guess it's
Say in
like
general,
small
like,
whatever tools the
So
team is using.
getting a lake or a river.
Yeah, I feel
Right.
like you probably wanna like see what kind of stuff before you just start.
Links to
Yeah.
so I was gonna say,
I guess that's
when
better
there's
for
like
your
an interview
Yeah.
process that
I
you're
don't know.
not
Say it's a
doing
five,
on
right?
like, for example, like pain points or tools or actions.
I wonder if we need to like
Instead of just
say that explicitly
code,
here.
writing code,
Okay.
what
I'm
language,
not sure.
like,
Yeah,
is there like a
review
part
Yeah.
that get to know the
Like
developer?
how are they getting this feedback? But this might link to Kickoff now.
Like updates and things.
Yeah.
Maybe Slack channel.
Slack channel, Discord.
Yeah, there's an inability to
Yeah. Okay.
So what I'm thinking is like,
Yeah, it's
I
not
like how you get someone like
Yeah.
they would know, they're not forget to, specifically open up that and fill up the
Unclear
So I think there has to
What
be
emotion you
a
express
step
at
where you create something,
Yeah.
binding with
Yeah.
designers finish the sprint. Hey, you had a great sprint, so what do you want to do?
Okay.
Use the emotions will to help illustrate
Oh,
how they use
Yeah, I'm
it.
just thinking like if you do it together, like where does it go?
It might
You're
be
signing
fine.
up after this.
But I think there must be an email where like you mentioned that
Curious,
this
is
is
there
like
any
one
How are we doing?
and then
I guess we're almost
Yeah.
same work.
It kind of like goes back to like we were talking about beginning, like navigation needs to be codified a lot more. So if you're talking about like, okay, let's just assume like in flow chart, we can get started. But then like there's a separate flow chart. Like, what if you want to do it today? Like, what does that look like? Or you know, like I don't have to do it today. Like my son, you know. Yeah, yeah. I just want to like lay out like our strategy. Oh yeah, so we got too excited.
No, it's all good. Strangers coming in as excited, like person doing their own thing.
Right.
something basic like no information right there.
Unclear idea, that's
Yeah,
one pain
that's
point.
right.
That's,
Let's just believe that
Yes, any
no one is
thoughts?
going to remember and then get back to the business.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Basically a Slack notification.
just be going through kind of line
Yeah.
by line. Probably need to spend more time on like the emotions and the
We
pain
did
points
wait
right now.
I guess in theory, we just been like working on our project and reorganize them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let me know if you want.
Yeah, sure, thanks. So for submitting a section of like right is good. What
Yeah.
language
I think
or
the
like
first
just like
this would be like
We have qualifications.
you can avoid lots of questions. There shouldn't be a very
Those would be still the same.
Maybe it says contribution.
Yeah.
But I think that is. Yeah. Mobile.
No, it doesn't feel like browser. It's like this is around
Make contribution.
because I was looking at it as like a mobile mode. Like it has to be like a
We were wondering what if
Continuing
you were to say
to
figuring out your qualifications. Would that be under actions or would it be under a point? We had it under both.
You're trying to submit, but you're not sure if you
Opportunity to
qualify.
Or you could just like just feel low.
Good, yeah.
What?
Kind of like a bunch of stickies and then we just reorganize them.
Which is like a big thing.
Just kind of looking at how like comparing how they browser versus the
Yeah.
experience. Oh, it's like a developer mode. Yeah, so.
I think the TV turned off.
Would it be under the action?
Yeah,
It's not your bucket, okay. Or should it be under, but it is self-tell, right? But I guess like I'd say we're doing well, like there's things like that we're wondering if you're
almost,
submitting.
I think there are.
I'm not rushing it.
It's like previous, like previously that was just like many years. I feel like.
Yeah, and also the names.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's like unclear if you can share, like.
Yeah, like maybe if they're like getting for a while, you know, they are, then maybe like, oh, I don't know, probably because I don't do that. But
Yeah, I think that makes sense as a thing, for sure.
Okay.
I don't know, did you say
sticky because it's attached to it.
Trying to get more
Oh, yeah.
designers and kind of builders involved.
It's sticky formulation.
I actually don't know because I find like the way I control when we first started. Good job. Solve the world's problem. For UX design. Yeah, really those sticky notes are.
That was the main one.
Yeah, it's just like a
They just left it.
It's been about 6 months now.
This is a big word. What is this? Okay. Yeah.
We've
Yeah, I
started
think
from this year.
When you're trying to read
Yeah.
out
Copy them.
what how to fix something.
So we mostly worked in Corgi Kickoff. We worked as well for a while.
No, that's fine. Yeah, Figma and Figma.
It's a little bit of everything now.
Not in town.
And also like that's what you say. These are just
I'm working in
right.
But then also,
You're just like defining what you and I love it. Because like otherwise you don't know. Yeah, it's already so this is like
Let's start wrapping up. And if anyone needs to take a break, like go to the kitchen, go to the restroom, feel free to do that now.
Oh, I guess it's how. I don't know. There's so much design.
but this is all
Yeah,
just
it's like-
assumption. But then you have to add like last one. What that is.
I was like running like the big like it's a little sparse. Like yeah, it's still like super
Just medium like the day.
But that's a pain point, right?
They're not, yeah.
Being able to
That's right.
try to explore stuff and visual design.
Yes. Yeah.
Developers just want to
Yeah, maybe you can do that.
Exactly.
Just one of those.
If you go over, yeah.
You know what? Anything else? I'm noticing that more with our new UI.
That's pretty. Yeah, I like most of it. Yeah.
It's called Near Builders Club.
Oh, yeah.
Near
This is
Builders
how you
Club.
get into it. No more the tools. I mean, I was just thinking like as a user, what are you using? I don't know.
So you have to leave your at that point.
Okay. All right, each group is going to present their column in a second. But yeah, if anybody needs to get water or use the bathroom or something, right now would be a good time.
Yeah. Does anyone need to go? Okay.
No, yeah.
We'll wait. We'll wait.
Let's go back to the board. Yeah. Should we play our lo-fi again? I feel like this is too chill. Should we do EDM? No, that's too much. right, I think that's everyone. Let's let's go through the user journey now that has been kind of filled out, and then we'll kind of be able to start thinking about opportunities. So
Yeah, so for every step, we want you to like run us through like the actions, tools, pain points, and emotions.
yeah,
And show your work so that everyone in the room, like because we didn't work on the same step, like understands the whole flow.
right. Help us understand what the user is going to be thinking or experiencing at this stage in the journey. So who did join an open sprints project?
Oh, we did, yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
So go ahead and drive. Let's have a drive.
Yeah, please.
Do you want me to do it? Yeah. Or you could like do gestures and stuff. I don't need to show anything. Oh, we can use the
I'll zoom
computer.
it in. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'll sit here. So for joining, we kind of did like in a user flow style. Like looking at the home page, we said, okay, there's either like, you either see the get joined, or what is it? Oh, get started button in orange, which should pop, but like in case you saw join today on the side, that's a different setup. So we just like went off this user flow. So yeah, you would click on the get started button. Can we actually go to the website, or like, does it matter? Like,
Yeah, you can look. The website is in a different tab on the over there.
okay, I'll just look at my own website.
Here you go.
Instead. It's like the presentation I didn't rehearse for.
No, it's good. Or yeah, we could go back to the big note if that's helpful for you.
No, I can have it here while you like click on the website. So yeah, so we're down here, and then we would say we'd like, okay, get started button. You go through these projects, and you probably like scroll through them. So either you just go to the bottom or something, or you would start like going through the filter section first, because that is at the top, and see what you can get. And then like you probably like filter down, and then just click like beginner or something. Yeah, I guess you would just pick one or something, and then after you filter it down, you would like look at this project and see if you match the criteria, which we can see from the level of difficulty here. And then it's part of like, before clicking the join button, you probably have like multiple tabs open for this. So you probably just compare all the, you don't need to do multiple tabs, but the idea is that you would just compare projects. And then from going there, like you would just go on the project page. I don't know, pick one of this one, yeah. I'm putting you on the spot, I'm sorry.
No, the trackpad is opposite, so I'm.
Oh,
It's-
that's the old way, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so like once you like
Struggling
pick a
here.
project, or like this is probably the one you really want to focus on, you probably just kind of scroll through the description, and then you would just, for the next step, probably look at the user updates and contributors at the top for the research it. And I guess that would be your steps as joining the Open Sprint program.
Got it. Great. Yeah, I like how you pointed out the multiple tabs. Like that wasn't something I was thinking about, but definitely like is probably what the user's gonna do is like open up all the projects.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
tabs and then try to choose.
I mean, we have that as a pain point later. Do we want to go through like the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, the tools like laptop, desktop, and mobile. Just pointing out, like, if you are on a mobile, like, get started is like a lot more easier to see than the hamburger menu where you can do join today. But yeah, pain points. What do you write here? Yeah, unclear how you get started. Just because, like, if you're on the desktop, you see the get started, but it doesn't really like take you to. It just takes you to the product page. And if you're like a new user, you're like, oh, okay. So, well, what do I do as a person? Yeah, and project names are unclear when starting. Oh yeah, and if you go to the navigation at the bottom, it's like, do we need previous and next buttons? And I just wrote tabs need to be titled for differentiating them, because they all just say open sprints. They don't really have like the title like Project Corgi. It's just open sprints by itself. And then we can do our what was it, emotions?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did think it was a really great thing that they're playful because of the dogs. That's fun. But like we mentioned in the pain points earlier, confused. And we also said like you're a little neutral because we're certain due to lack of details, like the website's a little sparse right now. Still needs to be filled out more. It seems like a work in progress. And that's all we got.
Yay, okay. That's good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Let's just jump into the next group. Who's the next? Feel free to drive. I'm sorry if my cursor is weird. Just go ahead and drive.
Uh-oh, here we go. Whoa. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Okay.
No,
How does your brain work?
Wait, how do you scroll? Wait, if you do this, how do you scroll?
Like if I was
Can
going
you
down.
zoom out a little bit?
Yeah.
Yours is the
Oh,
same way.
yeah, okay. Okay. I understand.
Is that good?
Yeah.
So,
So,
alright, so choose task from that one.
So, so at this point, the users have been looking at their projects, and now they're wanting to make a decision about what's interesting to them. So, I think even when choosing, you're still looking at those requirements. You're confirming like all of the tools, similar to what you're seeing in your area, but confirming the tools that you need to complete the project to make sure that that's a task that you can actually take on. Filtering out the right tasks or projects for yourself and evaluating if that works for you. Then also like potentially just scoping the work and deliverables and timeline again to make sure it works for you. And looking at the count, like if there's a deadline or something, just making sure that works with your schedule. And then actually the action of claiming that task in order to get approved or added to the project. And then through that action, there might be back and forth where you need to talk to someone to make sure you're on the same page. So, asking questions, making sure setting clear goals and permissions before you actually dive into the work. And then, what was this? Oh, the tools. We just said whatever the tools the company is using. But then we also said your tools might be GitHub, making sure you have that, looking at your independent calendar, and then just general, again, tools that a team would use. What is this section? Oh yeah, okay. Inability to filter out tasks that you just don't want, because you might be comparing tasks because you might have a lot that you're interested in. If you can't filter things out, that might be frustrating before you're choosing. And then again, that conversation and the communication between you and the project that you're trying to join. So that onboarding and agreeing on all the priorities and the expectations and deliverables. I think another pain point could be you're jumping into this work culture that you don't know. So you might get in and you're we don't vibe well. I don't vibe with the rest of the team. People work differently. And so maybe the way they work doesn't work with the way you work. So that's just something you might be fearful of when taking on a task. Applying to tasks but never being accepted to participate on them might be frustrating because you're spending that time and never really getting anything out of it. And then any delays and not having any delays in the project. And then one thing on the actual website, there's nowhere to claim a project right now. There's just that join, but there's no clear CTA on each project to actually apply to that project. So that could be something specific. And then, realizing in the middle, maybe that you're talking to someone and you've applied to it and you've decided, oh, maybe this actually isn't good for me. And that could be stressful to then have to go back and tell someone no. And then the emotions are just feeling frustrated, potentially imposter syndrome, feeling lost in what you should be applying to, but also on the other side and overwhelmed, but on the other side of things, happy to see a lot of opportunity and feeling motivated that there are these things out there for you and just curious.
Amazing. I love your point about the calendar. I didn't think about that, but having an easily exportable calendar for the project might be something that would be good. And getting that feedback is probably something very critical for the user that is not currently being addressed in the book. So thank you. Amazing. Thank you. All right. Student contribution. Yes.
Do you want? Oh, I don't know. It's okay. Neither of us really.
Okay.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Good afternoon. Oh God. Okay, here we go. Wait. There we go.
I understand you.
I like the full setting.
Hi guys, so we're looking through a developer standpoint, and the thing is that we're designers, so we're trying to figure out what are they actually thinking about. So the first thing is submit code, writing code, figuring out what language they're using, like HTML or CSS, what the interview process is, like are you going to talk to the founder before they start the program, and how do they connect with them from a Discord or a Slack channel, just get in touch with who you're talking to. And the next part is what programs they use and how would they like start using it from like the project standpoint, and what project management software they're using, what coding software they're using, what tools are they studying, and like what should they research beforehand, like should they like figure out like how they're going to start the project, and you know what type of programs they'll use from that.
It's like a lot of who, what, when, where, why
Yeah.
type
Right.
sort of information that you need to know.
And next is the qualifications, so what kind of experience they would need from that, and also like what either being like paid to be working from them or just volunteering, how many people are in the project, is it like a type of project you show to clients or like interviews, like would you be able to like present to them, and just getting caught up with the languages or technology, just like doing research beforehand basically.
Yeah, so for example, like if you do a project for a hackathon, sometimes you're like, is this a portfolio project? Like getting some of that information, or thinking about like, am I the only developer on it? Like how many people? Like that sort of information would be helpful. And then some emotions that we talked about that, you know, when you're submitting this information, you might be like a little skeptical because you don't know who you're working for. You might be curious, you know, just like a little bit more detail if it's not listed in the project, and like excited and maybe inspired by just the premise of the prompt. So
if you're skeptical, curious, excited, inspired maybe, you will just
yeah.
inspired to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, good job. I like the skeptical. I feel like that's how I am as a user, the skeptical user. So I really like that was brought up today.
Didn't you say that earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah, like just assume that they're like unsure of who like is on the other side of this before they apply to a job. Yeah.
I think that's a great point about not knowing like the people that are going to be on this project, and just basically like what is going to be the result of submitting this contribution is something very important that I'm glad that you guys called out as a pain point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Doesn't matter. Okay. I think you have that same trackpad.
No.
Oh, she
She's fine. She's
So we did the feedback area. So basically, just to start, after finishing a sprint, what you're doing, you're going to navigate through the website and maybe go straight to the feedback form, of course. You're filling up all those questions, rating your experience, and then submitting. It's pretty straightforward for feedback. And then what tools you're using is your laptop, email link from FemCubator, or a reminder via Slack channel or other places. Not sure where that might be.
Here we just to add on, we thought of email link or any kind of notification, because the user might not just go back to the website and remember to fill up the feedback form. So I think it will be Open Sprint's responsibility to send a notification. So that's what we thought on this thing.
Mm-hmm. And what section is this?
This
Pain
is
points, right?
pain points.
Okay, so we were thinking maybe if the feedback form is too long, or the verbiage or grammar is like not clear, maybe boring the user if it's like the questions are not well thought out. Currently, as it stands, there's no feedback form for my knowledge, or it's not evident in the project descriptions. Another pain point might be maybe not completing that feedback, and that's all we have there. Pretty straightforward, this section.
Yeah.
And you want to do the last section?
Yeah, and the last one, because the feedback might not be targeted and pretty long. The user left it at the end, and therefore it might have left them frustrated or bored, and the final result to get the opportunity to improve on your website, you might have lost on that opportunity. So that was our final.
Yeah, so that's all we have. Wasn't planning on presenting today.
Okay, amazing. So that is the end of the journey mapping workshop. So to get some context of what this would be like in, like a software company. Oh yes, I think.
I think we can just do this together. So the last step of the customer journey is to figure out, based on the pain points, what are the opportunities that we have, like what are the kinds of like product improvements, or like what are the kinds of features that we can build out that address these pain points. So let's just do this together.
Yes, sorry, I forgot we want to do the opportunity section still.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, we talked about the pain points for the understanding the various open sprints projects. So just as a reminder, we talked about having to scroll, not having an audience, too much for the initial sign up, not enough background information. So what is a potential, again, we're not committing to this next step, but what is a potential next step for the understanding various open sprints projects that would be an improvement to the existing experience? Anybody have any ideas?
Like in general, just like optimizing the landing page to really clearly state the value for the user and the mission behind the company, but also putting right up in the hero like a direct CTA to like start getting them involved and driving them into like finding opportunities for themselves.
Got it. No, I love it. Values is always very important. Why are we doing this? Speaking to that and directing them, like you say, to the project pages. Anybody else?
I'd say optimizing the footer with, if there's like search at the top, then the footer also like has like a reminder at the bottom.
Ah, I see. So whatever.
Whatever is in the header, like kind of reinforced.
Right. So using the footer to reinforce the.
Like whether it's like social links or like where to find projects or about.
Yes, because right now that was a complaint, is like the main message is in the footer, which is not ideal. The footer should be reinforcing.
Also, I think you talked about like some sort of like testimonials or like proof.
Right. Putting a face to the projects.
And maybe kind of building on that, adding some additional info in the about section just to give more context as to
Right. For people who, so the landing page will have the TLDR, and then people who really want to know more, the anxious users, so to speak, can go to the about section. Okay, what about for joining an open sprints project? So this is kind of like helping users decide which project they can be a part of. So if you recall, the main pain points were it's unclear how to get started, there's no previous and next button, the tabs, people are going to have a lot of tabs open, they're not titled right now, the project names are kind of unclear. What are some potential solutions we could have? Anyone have any ideas? I think naming the tabs is a pretty straightforward one.
I would say also like consistency, like with Project Corgi. I know she and I were talking, like the emojis are there, but they don't match like the fact that we're using a dog to describe the project in itself.
Got it. So consistent branding.
I even think on that, like even like that's like the Corgi, like it's fun, but it's also not really clear.
Right. Do we need dog names?
Yeah.
Like.
I mean,
But
we
like
probably
why?
do.
Like justification on why dog name.
Yeah.
Explanation of the dog names. That's something tech people love to do, is like just give things a quirky name and then it's never explained, like why is it called this, and you just become part of the lore, I guess.
I think also, I think you guys put it in there at the top, like just the ability to like personalize the way that you're searching for what you're interested in. So I think you guys like compare projects and then filtering and
I feel like the join button should be more of a learn more button.
Mm.
It doesn't really register you as a member.
Right,
And
maybe.
I'm almost hesitant to click it because I don't want to join the
Right.
project if I don't know about it.
Because call to act, like join, maybe seems like too much commitment.
The join button on the project page after you read all the details. Maybe.
Got it. And the join should be, yeah.
And the first thing on the project page, other than the summary, is the project name trivia. I feel like it's a fun thing we should highlight more, like the surface of it. So.
Got it. So you like the trivia and you think.
I think it kind of brings more like joy to the user, for sure.
Okay.
Kind of understanding why it's named that maybe is helpful.
Bring trivia to higher end page. Bring joy to users. Love that.
also like it feels kind of text heavy, and I wonder if there's a way to like for the projects or within each project, like to just lighten it a little bit.
Right. So like break up the text somehow.
Or like add sections maybe.
Mm.
And like know who the project's for.
Right. So like you mean in terms of joining or like impact?
Impact. Like
right.
If each of these was for a different company, like I know right now it's not.
Right.
But like it would be ideally. If it was for a different company, I want to know like what the company is so that I can make sure that I'm interested.
Got it. All right. Lots of great next steps there. What about choosing a task from the backlog? So they've joined a project now. There is a backlog of things to do on the project. What should the user do here? So it looks like the pain points that were called out were the inability to filter out projects, agreeing on priorities, trying to do a task but never getting any feedback, never getting accepted to the system, getting delayed, not vibing with the team culture. That's something that's very important, actually. Not being able to finish the task, maybe they weren't onboarded well, and just managing expectations and the communication and deliverables and the team. So what are some next steps that could happen here?
Maybe it just seems to have like an easy way to connect with, like maybe as soon as you join the project and you've been accepted or whatever, like an initial consultation or something, like you finally get some of the permissions or whatever you need, and then if you have any questions to ask, like you can message through the incubator or through some Slack channel, some way of like communicating with each other and just making sure everything's you're on the same page before you get started.
Got it. The one thing that I do think is kind of like the client will ask us, and that's fine. We should just think about what we're gonna say. Is would that be scalable in terms of like I guess people might ask like dumb questions that are already on the site, which is a use case we want to kind of think about. So what would you kind of say if the client had that concern?
I mean, I know that my developer doesn't like when bad code is mixed in with his code. So I think just a disclaimer of like we just want the best product, like the best experience for you.
Right.
So like if there's an FAQ that like has this like you can direct someone, but if it's like a more specific question, it's like that's a great question. Like I can get back to you and give you the information you need, so that like bad code is not added into.
Right. Great point.
I think
Anybody else?
One thing I would want to know is if somebody else is already working on a task, because I wouldn't want to do something
Mm,
that's already being done. So having a remain button or some kind of way to make sure that not everybody starts doing the same thing.
right.
Also, that just made me think, like, I wonder if there's like a prioritization of those tasks. Like if there's certain things that they need done right away. Even though like usually that's how dev picks, they're like picking the highest priority before like loading
They
it.
might not know what is highest priority.
Yeah.
Pick the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because people might want to work on something that is high priority to have more impact. Anybody else for choose from task backlog?
Oh, the only other thing that we had was if there's like, and maybe we put this already, but like you might have to get any like permissions or like account information if there's some way to share
Right.
that information.
It was related to joining the project too, so probably overlapping.
Right. It will be open source on GitHub, so as long as they have a GitHub account, I think it should be fine. But maybe this should be communicated if this is not.
I think one thing is, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with story points. I think we should include that.
Yeah.
Something like story points or level of difficulty for each task.
Right.
Yeah, probably level of difficulty. I wonder if like, just because like with if these are new developers, they might not even know how to point themselves yet.
Yeah.
Right.
You won't know like which story, what those even mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you mean explaining the tasks involved?
So it's more of story points is more like level of difficulty, how much time it will
Okay.
take to complete, and that's also important aside from priority because
Yeah.
you want to know how quickly
What?
to get
Yeah.
through.
All right.
It's like a big picture before they start, right?
Before they start, exactly. Okay.
All right. Submitting a contribution. So the pain points here were just understanding if you have the experience or the qualification to even submit a contribution. You know, a lot of people from non-traditional backgrounds in tech have a lot of imposter syndrome, so that could be a big pain point. Is it volunteer work? Unfortunately, it is volunteer work, but we should probably make that clear. You know, how many people are on the project? How is this going to affect the project? Is this something you can show to clients in a portfolio? That's a very good question. And whether
It's really like an NDA thing too.
right,
We talk
right.
about that, in freelance with like intellectual property for things that you're hired for on a fly basis.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, a contribution might even require you to be up to date on some technology.
I think in general for open sprints, because it's all open source, there won't, in general, I don't think we'll have like NDA kind of things, but that's something to think about, like as they expand the nonprofit and like try to get more
It
money.
just feels like if things are at a small scale, it doesn't matter, but if they grow, like people wonder like where they're credited. So
Yeah.
That's a good point. Like
even if it wasn't paid.
Yeah.
it could be a reason that the user joins or decides not to join. So something we should be thinking about. All right. So what are some next steps we could take?
I feel like we really need like a user profile page in some way, just to say like, if I join, like what is my end result gonna be? Is there gonna be like a whole portfolio section, like if it's like GitHub, or all my like main projects gonna be pinned or something?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I was thinking like it'd be so cool if you like at the end of it you knew you were gonna have something like visually for your portfolio like ready to go.
Right. What would be a next step though for that? So like having.
I think the term user profile, I'm actually kind of imagining it like in the open sprints page, there's like a list of contributors, like click on the person and see what contributions they made, something like that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just something that showcases all the work you've done, essentially, that shows that you're capable. Anything else for a submitted contribution?
I mean, I guess you're just submitting it in GitHub, so there's no like. I'm not a developer, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We're all just imagining.
yeah, these are the pain points. So
How do you actually submit on GitHub?
Yeah, you actually submit it on GitHub.
Does that link to like
Yeah.
the project? Like that's unclear.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
so that's what we should have it. Is it link to GitHub or
Sorry, I don't have a repository either.
I know, I was like,
Or even like, is there a social channel?
right. So what do you mean by social channel? Like a social media channel or?
I don't know, I guess like, is it listed? Where are
Is it listed where? Sorry.
maybe, never mind.
No, it's all good. I just didn't hear you. Yeah, that could be user friendly. I think having like an Instagram page for the project. I'm not sure.
I mean, I think if you're doing the profiles and like you're a constant contributor, it could just kind of be like you're saying like this feed, and you could be like, whoa, that looks really great, or like that's really cool, like that code is.
That's how like,
amazing.
that's how I've been seeing like job postings for this type of stuff. They're like social channels.
Okay, so shareability
Yeah.
to social channels.
Having a contributor guide in the GitHub.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Is that how you would submit?
Right.
would that also be more helpful, like at an earlier stage? Would you prefer to see that at an earlier stage, or like just at the submission part?
It's kind of like background information. It doesn't really help too much. I would definitely want to be able to notify people off GitHub. So that having like a way to submit on the site with a link to your pull request or something else.
Usually connected to Slack or connected to Slack.
Yeah, so if someone submits contribution, notification Slack.
Thank God you're here.
A real user, I know. No, this is definitely possible. It's just, it needs to be hooked up. All right, let's move on to the, last step. So getting feedback. So if we implement this, somebody submits a contribution, notification comes to Slack. The potential pain points here, not completing the feedback, right? So the user could just, you guys mean like the people already on the project might not give feedback.
What we thought about here is, for example, the document was, the feedback survey was too long and the user just left it in between. That was one main point. And the second one was second one was from the point of open sprint perspective, that they missed out an opportunity where they could have a user feedback and they could have an opportunity to improve their website. Like that, so we were looking at from 2 point of view. So.
I see.
Got it. Okay. I think in this case, the user journey, we're thinking about it from the user POV. So they're getting feedback from the. Sorry, I should have clarified this.
They have an action there that's related after finishing.
After finishing a sprint and submitting contributions, one will have to navigate through the website of the feedback, or else they will get a notification on the email or a Slack channel.
Yeah, so it's not clear what happens after they submit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's exactly what we were thinking also. So what's an opportunity we can do just so like a volunteer or contributor can have like can get feedback from their work, like maybe like a Slack ping that their PR was like approved, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe I think the Slack ping and the email. I think Slack is still easier because it will be an active channel, so you can just easily available and you can just quickly fill it up. So that would be rather easier.
Right. Ability to contribute feedback through Slack.
I think too, like, it's, you submit the you submit your project and then you've given it to them, and then how do you know when it's like in the real world? So
Right.
there should be like another
Feedback,
notification,
right.
like it's up now, like how excited are you? You know, like now.
Like a ping, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Like
piece of code sucks.
celebratory.
Yeah.
Right. If it gets pushed into the repo, you should know. Like I did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess like whether or not it gets pushed, like if it gets rejected, you should probably also
Right.
get feedback.
Yeah.
Feedback if push gets rejected and why. They should be able to iterate.
And constructive.
Basically, any update on the project, like any project update, basically.
Right.
On the, like, if someone's work was rejected, and they were like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, then is there a way to like, this is more in the incubator's mind, but to pass that, like, are you closing that ticket out for them and like opening something else for another, like redirecting it, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know if I said that right.
Right. So to close out a ticket, or maybe you only did like half of it, then you should be able to like indicate that or open a new ticket or something like that. No, very good. And we actually have a Trello for a lot of the projects. So I think a lot of this can be just synchronized with the Trello to Slack to GitHub, triangulation communication there.
I'm a
So.
little confused on like the process of like uploading and synchronizing it, because like, okay, so if you're in your GitHub repo and you're like doing push pull requests, how is that reflected on the open sprints page?
Right. So right now it's not. That's the problem. So.
Because like at the end, would you just end up bookmarking the GitHub repo instead of just the open sprints page? Like, what are your
Right. And so that's like a potential solution, right? Is like we can just keep pushing people to the GitHub page from the open sprint site if we think that's a good solution. Or we can propose that you publish the updates on the website itself. You know, both have their pros and cons, and it's something that you should have a strong opinion about as the kind of UX practitioner in this case. What would be best for the user? All right. Okay, so I think that's the end of our workshop. Thank you so much for your time. We'll just briefly very here talk about next steps. So week 1 was the hackathon. Thank you again for being here. We do have, so not next week, but the following week on March 19th, we will be doing user interviews based off of our journey mapping. So this is like mimicking the UX process at a real software company. So, you know, this journey mapping session would be like a 3-hour meeting that you have with your engineers, with your designers, right? And then you guys would all come up with next steps for your product, and then your job kind of to like validate, to make sure that the ideas you came up with were actually what the users want and what the stakeholders want, right? And that involves actually talking to stakeholders, actually talking to users. So we'll have like a very brief session talking about how you can structure that conversation, and then we will actually talk to a real stakeholder, Carlo, and we will talk to a real user, Sharuk, or vice versa, and get validation on our suggestions. Then we will create a very lo-fi basic wireframe, like a proposed design solution of, you know, really showing how we can improve the Open Sprint site onboarding. That will be on the 26th, 8 p.m. virtually, and then that's a Tuesday. And then we will have a presentation. That's demo day on April 4th. Beagle also has their demo day on April 4th as well, so we're aligning with their schedule. And so yes, we've invited a lot of tech industry professionals, so you can connect with them, show them what you've been doing, what you've been thinking about, you know, maybe get that referral if you're like interested in getting a job there or something like that. But really, this is a chance to kind of showcase your skills, and really you'll get out of this kind of like what you put into it. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. And if you're interested in participating in these sessions, then please put your email in the Project Corgi Slack channel, and we will invite you to the calendar invites for that.
Over here too, I'm like Google Doc ready.
Yes, or go talk to Davina. Davina is prepared.
Can you also send a Google Doc link to the Slack channel so that if they want to use their own laptop,
Yes.
they can do that. But
I have a question.
Is it to apply for the next
yeah, if you want to join us,
Yeah.
just
This relates to what I was gonna say. I don't know if you can go, but you wanna get the alerts, is there,
sign up.
just sign up?
Yeah.
I just don't wanna commit to
So
something.
Yeah, and we understand like it is a commitment for weeks. So if you want to
Seems
be like
Sus.
portion.
Okay.
I will invite you to the stuff. You don't need to accept the invite. If you come in, you're welcome to join us.
Jesus Christ.